Well, good day. It's Scott Picken here. I'm the CEO and founder of Migrate. As you can see, I'm actually standing at Stanford Business School, and there's some pretty interesting artwork going on in the background there. I wanted to share with you and finish off with the highlights of the week. We went around the room and around the table, and different people gave their different highlights. And I just want to share with you some of them that were absolutely amazing from the recent week. You can see that I've just spent time with Richard Branson on Necker Island and 20 other wonderful entrepreneurs. So one of them, Rafik, was a gentleman that actually beat Richard Branson at chess 3-2, and Richard actually explained on the first night how he was up 2-0 and Rafik actually came and beat him. But he said what was so strange in the first two games was that Richard Branson was like in this really bad position when it came to chess, but he just kept playing and he just kept playing and he just refused to lose. And then the moment Rafik made a mistake, then he would pounce and actually beat him. And Rafik finally worked it out and figured out a way to beat him. But you know, at 65, he was playing against Jeff Walker and literally just wouldn't give up on the tennis court and beat him, you know, and really it was that amazingness. The level of service of the team and the staff was just phenomenal. You know, every one of us said how it made us feel like we were actually at home, and the staff treated us like friends. I think one of the ladies said, you know, how much fun they saw Richard Branson having, and how they also wanted to increase the size of their container so that they could be like, you know, like Richard Branson in terms of what he's actually doing. And I think really you need to refer to the video that I've made, the Wealth Insight with Siobhan, in terms of how to actually increase the size of the container. Another one that I really enjoyed was the whole, you know, 80-20 principle, where most people, you know, 20% of your effort's getting 80% of your result. They then actually got it down to 1% of your effort is getting 50% of your result. And they said if you spend 80% of your time in your unique ability, then you're going to get the results that you ultimately want to get. And you must let someone else do the 20% that you're not good at. And then if they work in the 80-20 principle and you know, then they get someone to help them with the 80-20 principle, and you go on and on and on like that, then ultimately everyone will be working in their unique ability, and that's when you're going to get the greatest results in terms of what's happening. I think one that was very, very true for all of us was Richard Branson, and talking about how he takes care of his body and how that is the most valuable asset that he actually has, and how you need to take care of yourself. And I think one of the wealth insights that I've got is where he said around the age of 40, 45, you get to have a decision. You can either go on and just become fat, lazy, and let your body wither away, or you can go back to being like you were when you were 25, but it's going to take a conscious effort. And I mean, he certainly has. He's one of the fittest people I've met at the age of 65, let alone any age, to be fair. Richard Branson said it is about listening more and speaking less. Absolutely fascinating how one should actually do a lot more listening. I'm reading his book at the moment about how when he became a journalist at the age of 16, it was listening that actually really got him ahead. And anyone that's sat with him will know that that is so much the truth, where it's all about listening. He's consistently just listening and taking notes no matter who you actually are. One of the ones that came through very clearly was that you need to delegate to scale. And you know, also there was a long talk about the difference between delegation and abdication. And I would recommend you go and watch the day one lessons, where I go into that in a lot more detail. We spoke a lot about the daily huddle and how important the daily huddle actually was, and how people have built great businesses all over the world. It doesn't matter how many people there are, it doesn't matter how many different offices there are. The daily huddle is so important, basically. One of the ones that one of the ladies, Bernadette from Ireland, spoke about was how when you strongly believe in something, no matter what happens, and even if you don't know what the path is, if you strongly believe in it, no matter what happens, it is going to take place. And ultimately the universe almost pulls in the direction to really help you. And then one of the things that John said, and he's been coming for 7 years, he said, you know, Necker Island gets in your soul, and you're with just amazing people, and it just helps you grow and get better and better and better. And then last two closing thoughts for me was really one that I found absolutely amazing. On the last night, Matt spoke about how, you know, I had the tenacity to go around the island, but what really was amazing, there was like a stripper pole, and I tried to climb it, and I think my arms were so weak from the kite surfing that day. I was really battling, and I went up 2 or 3 times, and I kept slipping down. And the crowd support that was absolutely phenomenal, and they just wouldn't let me fail, and I just kept trying and I kept trying, and eventually I made it to the top. And I just want to say to Matt, you know, I'll never forget that little metaphor, and you know, making sure that you just keep going until you, and put your mind to it as well. Remember you saying, think about it, get in the pole. And I did it, you know, so well done, and I really appreciate it, dude. And then lastly, I think with John showing us all how to saber a champagne bottle on the last night, you know, it's one thing to do it yourself, it's another thing to show off and in front of others, but it's a whole different level of mastery when you can teach each and every one of us how to do it. And I was just amazed. I mean, one person after another, you spoke calmly, you spoke smoothly, you showed us how to do it. And that just shows what a true gentleman you are, and really the caliber of mastery that you've reached, that you can get everyone to be able to do that so easily. So those are all my lessons. That's everything that I can get, and I will be sharing a lot more in the webinar. I highly recommend you come along to it, where we'll go down into a lot of detail, but hopefully we've added some value to your life. And I just thought it was quite opportune standing here outside the Graduate School of Business here at Stanford, one of the best universities in the world. Personally, I believe that a week with 20 amazing entrepreneurs, including Richard Branson, is as great a quality, because you're literally learning on the job. It's absolutely amazing. That's me, Scott Picken, coming live from Stanford. Cheers.